Welcome, confidential listeners, to another entry from our private archives. This is a space for the unspoken, for the deep, dramatic secrets that carry a heavy emotional weight. Tonight's story was sent to me by a man named Mateo, a soul still wandering the docks of Miami, searching for a ghost that the ocean took away. It is a diary of an impossible summer, titled "The Woman from the Sea: Why She Left Without a Trace." So, close the door, turn down the lights, and listen closely, because the audience for this truth is only you. It was the best summer of my life, a weekend that I will never forget. Looking back, it was something magical, a meeting prepared by God himself. I felt it from the moment I stepped onto that boat in Coconut Grove, heading toward the crystal clear waters of Elliott Key. It was like a premonition, a deep gut feeling that my life was about to shift. We were in a group of friends, all of them paired up. I watched the salt spray hit their smiling faces as they held hands, and I felt that familiar, hollow ache in my chest. Besides our group, there were other people on the boat, all of them heading to the island to escape the heat of Miami. As the boat cut through the turquoise waves, I found myself scanning every face. There were so many beautiful women, and I kept thinking, what a struggle. So much beauty around, and here I am, completely alone. I was always the shy one, the reserved guy. I rarely gambled with my heart. Maybe that's why, even at 25, I had never had a serious relationship. To be honest, I was starving for love, a real passion, someone to share the small joys of my life with. Who doesn't dream of a great love? I spent the whole trip looking at the people on that deck, imagining that inside each one of them there was a hidden dream just like mine. Is it just me? Am I the only one sailing toward a paradise I have to explore in silence? I just wanted to know if the world tastes different when you have someone to share it with. We watched my friends, all of them with their partners, and I felt this immense urge to have someone by my side. It wasn't jealousy, it was something else, a profound silent hunger to love and be loved in return. We finally docked and checked into a small place called the Mangrove Inn. I had no idea that it would be right there in that quiet corner of the Florida coast that my life would be transformed forever. It was starting to get dark when I decided to take a walk along the shore. I've always loved doing that when I go to the beach, either at the break of dawn or just as the sun begins to set. There's something about the way the Florida humidity softens at dusk, making the air feel like a damp silk cloth against your skin. I love walking in the sand with bare feet. It's a true therapy for me. I remember I put a bottle of wine in my backpack and left without telling anyone. I wanted to be alone for a bit, to reflect, to think about my life. I needed to escape the constant reminders of my friends' happiness, the sound of their laughter coming from the hotel bar. I think I walked for about half an hour until I finally decided to sit on the sand. The first stars had already started to sparkle in the sky, and what a marvelous sky it was, not a single cloud in sight. The Atlantic was calm, the waves whispering secrets to the shore in a language I was just beginning to understand. I started to think, to reflect on things from the past, and before I knew it, I had finished that entire bottle of wine. The warmth of the alcohol mixed with the salt air, and my loneliness didn't feel so heavy anymore. I lay down on that warm sand and just stayed there, looking up at the heavens. Slowly, I ended up falling asleep. The last thing I remember was the smell of the ocean and the feeling that I was finally at peace. When I said at the very beginning that it had been something magical, a meeting prepared by God, I wasn't using a figure of speech. I wasn't joking. The way it happened, the way that girl approached me, it was something that, frankly, not even in my wildest dreams could I have imagined. If the tide comes up, it's going to end up catching you here on the sand. I heard that voice, and immediately after, I felt those hands touching my shoulders, shaking me with a gentleness that seemed to come from another world. The touch was real, but my mind was still submerged in the stars. When I opened my eyes and saw that face, that girl right there, kneeling by my side, the air simply abandoned my lungs. The moonlight was hitting from behind her, creating a silver aura around her hair, which was messy from the salty Miami breeze. I thought I was still dreaming. My God, what a vision! My God, what a face! She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen in my entire life. She had skin that seemed to glow under the moonlight and eyes that carried all the depth of the Atlantic Ocean. And if that wasn't enough, she had this friendliness, this spontaneity. She didn't feel like a stranger. She felt like someone I had been waiting for 25 years. I will never forget the first thing she said to me when I finally managed to focus my eyes on her. She tilted her head, let out a crystalline laugh, and asked, "Do you believe in mermaids?" She asked that and smiled. I can't say if it was because of that. I can't say if it was because I was still sleepy and under the influence of the wine, but I looked at her legs at that very instant. My brain was trying to process reality, desperately searching for the fishtail that would justify such perfection appearing out of nowhere in the middle of the night. Of course, I wasn't expecting to see a woman with a fishtail, but when she asked if I believed in mermaids, I don't know. It was an impulse. It was my first reaction as a shy and confused man. And when I looked at her legs, she laughed, and she laughed heartily, a sound that drowned out the noise of the waves. Then she sat there beside me, and without me asking, began to sing a song softly. That song, it became our song. Even now, I can be anywhere, at a busy office in downtown Miami or in the middle of a crowded street, and the moment I hear the first notes, everything we lived on that island rushes back to my mind like a tidal wave. I was so bewitched by that woman that I couldn't say a single word. I just sat there, staring at her, completely captivated. We talked for nearly an hour on the sand, the world around us fading until it was just her voice and the rhythmic pulse of the Atlantic. We discovered so many things in common, small details of our lives that seemed to fit together like missing puzzle pieces. It was during that conversation, under the watchful eye of the Florida stars, that she finally gave me a name to hold on to. Teresa Cristina. But you can just call me Teresa. Teresa. I repeated the name in my mind over and over, feeling the way it anchored her to my world. Then, whether by pure coincidence or divine intervention, she told me where she was staying. No way! You're staying at the Mangrove Inn too? I'm in the cabin right near the garden path. How did we not see each other on the boat? That night, unfortunately, we didn't go beyond talking, even though every fiber of my being wanted something more. I felt such an intense need to reach out, to touch her hand, to experience the taste of that mouth and the warmth of those arms. But I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was fear. The fear that if I moved too fast, I would break the glass of this perfect moment and find out she was just a mirage made of moonlight and wine. I didn't want to ruin our first meeting, that magical moment. We walked back to the inn together, our shoulders occasionally brushing, sending sparks through my skin. When we reached her door, the air was thick with the scent of night-blooming jasmine and salt. We agreed to meet the next day to hike up to the lighthouse. I watched her go inside, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't just dreaming about a girl. I was terrified that the sun would come up and prove that Teresa was just a beautiful trick played by the sea. The next day, we set off for the lighthouse. My anxiety was so high that I had been up since the first light of dawn. In fact, I hadn't been able to close my eyes for a single second all night. I spent the entire time staring at the ceiling of my room at the Mangrove Inn, tracing the patterns of the moonlight on the walls and replaying her laugh in my head. I couldn't stop thinking about Teresa for even a moment. With my eyes open or closed, it didn't matter. It was as if she were there in front of me, present the whole time, constant like the sound of the sea. Teresa, my mermaid, with those brilliant eyes and that beautiful mouth practically begging to be kissed. It was there, at the Cape Florida Lighthouse, facing that marvelous view, that immense blue ocean that we shared our first kiss. My God, I had never felt anything like it in my entire life. The world around us, the tourists, the wind, the rustle of the palm trees, it all just vanished. There was only the taste of her and the overwhelming heat of the Florida sun. It was just a kiss, but it was the most intense thing I've ever felt in a woman's arms. It felt like my soul was finally recognizing its counterpart. We spent the rest of that day glued to each other. We walked the trails hand in hand, hugging, sharing small gestures of affection as if we had been together for years. I wanted to ask her right then to be my girlfriend, to be mine forever. I was already making a million plans for when we returned to Miami the next day. I didn't know that the ocean was already preparing to take back what it had lent me. To my joy, it was written that on that final night, something would happen that not even in my best dreams could I have imagined. The air in Elliott Key felt electric, heavy with the scent of tropical flowers and the approaching tide. It was late afternoon when she called me to walk far down the beach, away from the lights of the inn. She asked me to bring a bottle of wine, an echo of the night we first met, as if we were closing a sacred circle. We ended up near the exact spot where I had fallen asleep and she had found me. Look, it sounds like an exaggeration, but I was trembling beside her. My heart felt like it was going to jump out of my chest, beating so fast I could hear it in my ears. Have you ever felt your soul agitating inside you, your whole body shaking just from looking at someone, just from hearing the vibration of their voice or feeling their breath on your neck? My God, I never knew it could be this good to fall in love. Before Teresa, I didn't even know what it meant to truly want someone. She wasn't just a girl, she was a revolution in my life. The truth is, we ended up making love right there by the edge of the sea. The sand was our bed and the stars were our only witnesses. It felt like the rest of the world had ceased to exist, leaving only the two of us and the infinite pulse of the Atlantic. But today, I know, you already knew that night was our goodbye. That's why you called me to the shore. Do you remember what you did with that bottle? After we drank the wine, you took a letter out of your pocket, one you had already written, and tucked it inside. You corked it tight and threw it into the dark currents of the ocean. I heard a story once, Mateo, about a woman disillusioned with love who threw a message in a bottle just like this. I do it every time I'm here. It's my way of making sure the ocean remembers what the world might forget. How can I forget those moments, Teresa? How can I forget the most intense and precious seconds I have ever lived? I can't. It's simply impossible to forget. But the sun that rose over Elliott Key that Sunday morning didn't bring the warmth of your smile. It brought a coldness that I can still feel in my bones today. I woke up with the taste of your mouth still on mine, the scent of the sea and your perfume still lingering on my skin. I went to your cabin at the Mangrove Inn, expecting to find you getting ready for our boat trip back to the mainland, but the door was wide open, the bed was perfectly made, and the air was empty. It was as if you had never been there at all. I didn't understand why you left that way, without even saying goodbye to me, and especially in that manner. No phone number, no address, nothing. I ran to the front desk, my heart hammering against my ribs, hoping it was just some kind of mistake. The girl in the garden cabin, Teresa, where is she? We were supposed to leave together on the afternoon boat. The owner of the inn just looked at me with a mix of pity and indifference. She told me that you and your friends had checked out at the first light of dawn. She said you probably took the very first ferry back to Coconut Grove before I even opened my eyes. They left hours ago, son. Didn't leave a note, didn't leave a message. They just left. I searched that room, searching for a scrap of paper, a hair tie, anything that proved the last 48 hours weren't a hallucination. But there was nothing. The only letter you ever wrote was the one you tucked inside that bottle and threw into the dark waves. Just as suddenly and unexpectedly as you arrived, you vanished into the Florida haze. It's been almost 2 years since that weekend. 2 years, Teresa, and yet I still find myself walking through the streets of Miami, looking for a flash of your hair in the crowd or the sound of your laugh in the wind. I still think about you every single day. I still dream about every second we spent together on that island, replay it in my mind until the edges of the memory start to fray. If you only knew how many times I've gone back to that island in the hopes of finding you. Every holiday, every long weekend, every time the Florida sun gets a little hotter, I find myself back on that boat in Coconut Grove. Sometimes I don't even make it to the island. I just stand there at the marina, watching the boats arrive, scanning every face, searching for the siren who stole my heart and disappeared into the salt spray. Sometimes I ask myself, do you even exist? Did I actually live those moments by your side? Or was I so desperate for love that I conjured you out of the moonlight and the wine? There are times when I think I imagined it all, that you were just a dream I didn't want to wake up from. You told me you always went to that island, but then why have I never seen you again? I've returned to that paradise more than 10 times, searching every trail, every inch of the beach near the lighthouse. I've sat on that same driftwood at midnight until the sun came up, but I haven't seen even a shadow of your passing. And then there's the music, our song. I can be at a cafe in Little Havana or driving down Ocean Drive, and if those first chords start to play, I lose my breath. Everything comes back. The smell of the night-blooming jasmine, the touch of your hand, the way you looked at me before you threw that bottle. The world around me disappears, and for 3 minutes, I'm back on that sand with you, before the morning took you away. It's been almost 2 years, Teresa. I've returned to that paradise more than 10 times, and unfortunately, I haven't seen even a shadow of your passing. That's why I'm here today, recording this video, turning my pain into this public appeal. I decided to turn this YouTube channel into my own bottle thrown into the ocean, hoping that the digital currents will carry my face back to you. Are you watching this? Do you remember that story you told me about the woman who threw a bottle into the sea with a message inside? That's why I decided to make this plea right here. Who knows, maybe the algorithm will find you anywhere in the world and show me my face, tired of searching for a ghost. If it's you, if you recognize our story, please don't ignore it. If you feel even a fraction of the longing I feel, or even if you just want to tell me it was all just a summer fling, I need to know. I've left my contact information in the description of this video and pinned a comment with my email. If you are seeing this, please find me. That's all I ask. Find me, even if it's just to tell me to forget everything, to tell me I got it all wrong, even if it's to tell me that a grown man shouldn't fall in love in such a naive way. Please let me hear your voice one last time. I desperately need to close this chapter or start a new one. I spend my days refreshing my notifications, waiting for a single comment or email that bears your name. They say summer love doesn't survive the winter, but this feeling was born in the sands of Elliott Key, and I carry it with me wherever I go. It occupies every single corner of my heart, and I can't breathe until I know the truth. I was going to ask you to be mine, Teresa. I had the words ready, tucked under my tongue like a secret I was finally brave enough to tell. I was going to ask you to be my girlfriend, to take what happened on that beach and carry it back to the real world. But you didn't even give me a chance. You went away without even saying goodbye, without a parting word, a note, or an explanation. What happened? To this day, I ask myself that every single night. Was it something I did? Something I said in the heat of that magical night? Or were you just afraid that the sunlight would turn our miracle into something ordinary? You left me with nothing but a memory that feels more like a scar. You left me standing on those docks, looking at an empty horizon. You left me with a heart full of plans and no one to give them to. I would go back in time in a heartbeat just to stand on that sand one more time and hold your hand before the dawn broke. You don't have any idea how my life has been since that day you left me. Only God knows how much I wanted to find you again. I've built my life around the hope of your return, but hope is a heavy thing to carry alone for 2 years. If you are out there, if you are listening to these words, just know that I am still that same shy man you found sleeping on the beach. I am still waiting for my mermaid to return from the depths. I'm still waiting for the woman who taught me how to love in a single weekend, even if she taught me how to hurt for a lifetime. Please, Teresa, don't let this be the end of the story. Are like summer storms in Miami. Intense, electric, and gone before you can even find shelter. Mateo is a man trapped in a beautiful loop, a prisoner of a weekend that felt like a lifetime. Now I ask you, my confidential listeners, do you think Teresa was just a summer fling looking for an escape? Or did she have a secret reason for vanishing so completely? And could you wait 2 years for someone who didn't even leave a phone number? If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment below. Mateo will be reading them, looking for any clue, any hope. Give this video a like and share it. Maybe, just maybe, it will reach the one person it was made for. Subscribe to our archives for more secrets from the deep. And remember, sometimes we are the ones writing the letter, and sometimes we are just the bottle drifting in the current. Mateo has thrown his message into the vast ocean of the internet, just like Teresa did that night on the shore. We can only hope that this time the tide brings back an answer. Stay safe and keep your secrets close. Good night.